Alright, is everyone ready for some good old Diablo 4 will be saved in Season 2 Copium? I know I am.
Okay, in today's news roundup, we're going to talk about multiple things. First, we're going to talk about there's a news update for D4 related to update live stream from the devs that's coming. We're going to break that down. There's some layoffs over at Blizzard, but
I love hearing from the devs who don't play their own game. It's like my favorite thing.
I don't think it's going to affect Diablo, and we're going to talk about that. And then I have some news around D2 as well as what we're going to be doing today. Finally got some positive news to talk about Diablo 4.
I have heard that D2 is getting new skills, new synergies, and a lot of new things. I mean, at this rate, D2 is going to be better than D4. Well, it already technically, honestly is, but it's going to be even more better than D4 at this rate.
Because we have some communication around a developer update live stream that will be coming. Now, if you want to know the difference around this one as opposed to the other ones, is there's the developer live streams, then there's the campfire chats. Now, the developer update live streams are typically more official, more like a response to what their plans are for the future of the game, etc. And the campfire chats are a little bit more of like the sentiment of how they're feeling about patches, their thought process, stuff like that. Whereas the developer update...
Leave it to Diablo 4 devs. Okay, here's the official update news. We're gonna talk about it. And then after, we're gonna talk about our feelings, how much they got hurt because we provided shit. And we still demand your respect. We demand to be loved for making a shitty game. It's great.
Update live streams are typically the more juicy ones. Now, we know this because if we look right here, tune in to our next developer update live stream. They mentioned this is going to be on October 4th at 11 a.m. Pacific. It dives into the looming Season of the Blood and many details on the quality of life updates first announced at Gamescom opening night live 2023. Now, if you remember previously, they went up and announced it is a vampiric powers Season of the Blood, 5 new in-game bosses. They announced all this stuff sort of at Gamescom, and now we're going to get a breakdown of more information. We know because they mentioned on Twitter, Rod tweeted out that they're going to need multiple live streams in order to explain all of the content that's coming in Season 2. So it's been hyped a little bit.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I honestly think they're gonna need multiple live streams in like 10 hours to explain everything, is because they're just bad at explaining, okay? It's a game. They're not making anything groundbreaking. They're not making anything we have ever not seen before. Just explain it. Not go into a 2-hour long session about how you don't like that people are being mean to you for ruining the game that they wanted.
In terms of communication, that there's a significant amount of things to actually discuss. If we continue reading here, they say join the members of the development team along with the Associate Director of Community, Adam Fletcher, who will unveil the vampiric scourge that is descended, can't speak, on Sanctuary and sinister power they possess. Learn what it would take to fight against this rising tide of evil and harness the power of their potent blood for your own means. So, okay, we get a little bit of lore segment, okay? This doesn't mean too much. But right here, the developer update live stream also details many quality of life updates arriving throughout Season 2. The team will talk about the community requested features such as additional stash space and functionality. I believe we were...
I still can't. I still think we're living in a bizarro world that we need to wait until Season 2. So such bare bones necessities get added, like searching this in the stash tabs and extra stash tab space. It's unbelievable.
Thinking there was like a search that was going to be coming with this. You're going to stash space. Hopefully you get some search so you can search for exactly what you want as well. So we'll see about that. Improvements to dungeons, mounts, and much more. We'll also hold a segment at the end of the stream for players to field their questions directly to the team. So this is sort of quality of life features and fixing of things and adding stuff that has been requested. But then if we look down here, plus, on October 10th, we're having a campfire chat, so that's going to be a second one talking about Season 2, that will feature a deep dive on upcoming class balance changes and reworks to several in-game systems. So I get a little bit nervous.
Reworks to several in-game systems, that just means item stats, essentially, which is good. Again, I still want the crit strike, and vulnerability nerfed, because that's the only way the game is going to be interesting in the long run, because that's going to open up more ways to build your character. not only just getting all the gear with crit and vulnerability. So that itself is honestly good. Honestly good. But, you know, it's like upcoming class balance changes. What fucking changes? How can they change the class balance if they don't play their game? Sorceresses are probably gonna have only one usable and playable skill until the end of until the end of the game. And I understand there's gonna be people. I used chain lightning instead of ice shots and it felt decent. Yeah, that's because you didn't play you know, the ice shots. I too started playing a sorceress with chain lightning. I even got, luckily, a couple of good upgrades for it. You know, extra bounces, regain energy between bounces if it's on me. And guess what? The moment I switched to ice shots with 0 upgrades, it was a whole new world. It's just not even funny how blatantly better that skill is than absolutely anything else. And this is the thing for a lot of classes. There's like 1 or 2 usable things, and maybe in the super late game, there are, you know, I don't know, that you can make some kind of different thing. It's possible maybe, but you know, it's such a long shot and it's so stupid. Yeah, okay. A build becomes viable on level 100 when you have 100% all the items in the game. That doesn't seem good to me. You know, it just doesn't seem good to me. How about making every skill viable while leveling and at level 50 and whatnot? That would be great.
So I get a little bit nervous anytime I see balance changes, to be fair, but I am curious about reworks to several in-game systems. In an ideal scenario, this rework to an in-game system could be something like enchanting, whereas crafting, you know, enchanting, that type of stuff in Diablo 4 is basically lackluster. A real deep dive on reworking the enchanting-based system, maybe adding some crafting or things you can do with your items in the game could go a long way. And while quality of life improvements, stash space, functionality improvements to dungeons and mounts, etc., while these quality of life changes are something that will excite me about the game, I am much more excited to hear about the unveiling of the Vampiric Scourge, because it's one thing to go back and fix systems that are maybe a little boring or could use some tweaking or some balancing. That's fine. Like to see that. In my opinion, that's not really new season content. I don't really care. I would rather see what are the new stuff coming to the season. So I'm hoping on October 4th here, we actually get to kind of dive into these new in-game bosses, how those are going to work, see all the content that's coming. Is there a vampiric skill tree, for instance? Are we going to be getting new vampiric powers, or is this like a Caged Hearts type of scenario? So I'm kind of hoping we get the details on the real...
We're still placing, by the way, bets on will Caged Hearts just disappear as a system in Season 1. I think it's not gonna happen. I think Caged Hearts are still gonna be a thing. Because there's no shot. They're gonna put you back in the position where every piece of jewelry just has a skull in it. There's no shot, right? No way. Absolutely no way. Also, by the way, the Caged Hearts was essentially just gems from Diablo 3, right? How you upgrade them at the end of a dungeon and shit like that, right? Will vampiric powers also be just a reskin mechanic from Diablo 3? Do you think that's gonna happen? Maybe? Who knows? Ashes were trash. Ashes were useless and bugged and didn't do anything. So, you know, questions. A lot of questions.
Nitty-gritty on what the meat, bones, and potato of these updates and content is actually going to be for Season 2. There is also this going around right now around Reddit and Twitter and all that about massive layoffs at Blizzard again. If you actually...
Good. Anyone with the rainbow flag at Blizzard should be just absolutely instantaneously fired, and anyone with whatever the fuck this is also supposed to be instantaneously fired. That is good, okay? You want people who work, not people who are primary activists. Again, the Diablo dev stream. We heard a lot about their private lives, how they're lesbian and all of that crap. Didn't hear a lot about the game and why the game is good. They couldn't even play the game. But I did hear a lot about personal stuff that I literally could not care less about. Because I don't care about you as a person. Why do you think as a developer I need to care about you? If you're not doing your job, get fucking fired. Simple, honestly.
Click on this and go to the link for the massive layoff. It just names like 1 or 2 people that got laid off. I wasn't actually able to find anything about massive layoffs anywhere, but maybe I just didn't see it properly.
Also, it's gonna be hard to lay off anyone in Blizzard, honestly, because the truth is, I predicted this a long time ago. When the Blizzard scandal about all the milk and whatnot happened, I predicted that Blizzard is gonna do the classic, yet fantastic, reverse rodeo 360 extreme. AKA, they're gonna banish everyone with who did bad things, and then they're gonna get the exact same people of the exact opposite spectrum, and now it's gonna be even less productive. Oh man, right on the money, by the way, right on the money.
If you actually go to the link to the people that are getting laid off at the moment, it is for the Hearthstone team. So the kind of cut the head off of speculation before it begins. I don't think this actually has anything at all to do with Diablo, but I'm already seeing people run with the...
That's sad. Most of those the Diablo 4 devs need to be fired. I mean, you can hope that they're gonna fix something, but considering how much they screwed it up, and Season 1 was also complete garbage, considering they literally don't learn from their mistakes, just fire them. Replace them. 100% replace. Well, it's not gonna get worse. It can only technically get better.
These couple layoffs and, make whole points about how Diablo 4 made its money already, so now they're just going to fire everybody. But, that doesn't seem to be what this is happening. You can basically just Google Blizzard layoffs and you're going to see a million articles about this already. The official statement by Blizzard for this was organizational changes were made to the Hearthstone team. As a result, a small number of roles have become redundant. We want to thank these employees for their many contributions, and they confirmed that several employees have been laid off. So 3 maybe? And in fact, if we look into this here, Blizzard is actually currently hiring over 150 people, including WoW, as well as Diablo 4. So as it stands here, I don't believe any people got cut from the Diablo team, and they're actually acquiring people for the Diablo team. So I already am seeing speculation.
Okay, so this is a mistake the companies do. All right, I'm gonna tell you again. If you're not cutting anyone, but you're hiring new people, and the people who are already there kind of dropped the ball. Not kind. In this situation, they just completely ruined it. If those people previously who ruined it are now gonna give tips, tell the new workers how things are supposed to be running and stuff like that, you're not changing anything. You're essentially just adding the same stuff. That's a thing that happens. That's a thing that happens often. If you have incompetent people doing something and you hire someone and those incompetent people get to completely dictate what happens, well, those new people are also going to be incompetent pretty fast. Because the reality is either they are incompetent or they are competent and they understand, well, this is kind of fucked, but this is a very, very solid job opportunity because, well, these idiots are not being fired. So I'm just gonna do what they say, not work, do the bare minimum, get paid, and have a nice life. Can't even blame a person for doing that, honestly.
Of people talking about how this correlates to Diablo and all that. It's a Hearthstone thing. I don't think it has anything to do with Diablo. The highest number I could see from an article was on IGN, where a Kotaku reporter tweeted that 10 members of staff within the Hearthstone team were affected, which would actually be a pretty good amount of staff within the Hearthstone team. So perhaps 10 people is the largest number.
I'm pretty sure ChatGPT at this point can actually generate Hearthstone cards better than Hearthstone devs.
Number that I can find reported at least, but not confirmed. I don't think it's a cause to panic or anything literally remotely about anything at all. The reality is any news around Blizzard is getting talked about at the moment, and I've seen people complain that Blizzard has too many employees. The 9,000 employees meme still can't make a good game. I've seen that meme anywhere, but you cut 10 people, and suddenly that's a reason the company's dying. So, I see complaints on both sides. For me, I mean, how the hell am I supposed to know if 10 people out of the Hearthstone team is going to matter for Diablo? I don't think it is.
Probably not.
But I am sure we will see that speculation regardless. In some other news, Diablo 2 Resurrected Ladder Season 5 is starting. Here's the thing about Diablo 2. This begins on the 28th, which is tomorrow. And I have, this is going to sound terrible. I've only played up to Act 2 in Diablo 2. I've barely played the game. I've said this before. So I'm actually going to try playing Diablo 2 for the first time. I actually haven't played Diablo 1 yet either. So my plan is Diablo 2 comes out tomorrow in terms of the new ladder. I will try that. It's a good time for me.
Diablo 1 is, you know, it's a good game for its time, but its time has passed, okay? Anyone who's saying, oh, Diablo 1 is still an amazing game is absolutely just coping.
Try Diablo 2 for the first time ever, and then we're going to try...
It's sadly out of date, but Diablo 2 is still prime fire.
Diablo 1 as well, because I've never even played Diablo 1. I kind of feel like I need to do my pilgrimage, go back home, and play some of these OG games. I've been loving Path of Exile so much that people keep telling me I'm probably going to like Diablo 2, and since I'm fairly blind in the experience the same way I was in Path of Exile...
I want to know if the Resurrected is actually going to have the skill changes to Diablo 2 that I thought that... I saw some kind of video. It was a super short video by some kind of channel with like 1 sub. And he was talking about the skills that, you know, Diablo 2 Resurrected will change. For example, remember, Barbarian Elite currently has been changed. It's AoE. There's new charms that make it so Resurrection... not Resurrection, but Resistances for enemies go to minuses and whatnot. It's great. There's so much good stuff.
Exile. I haven't watched D2 playthroughs or speedruns or guides. Why would I? It wasn't a game I was going to play. So I'm pretty much blind up. I've only played up to Act 2.
I mean, dude, D2 speedruns are kind of... I don't know. You can watch them if you want to relax a little bit, you know, just there in the background. But they're not that great.
So the rest of the game for me is going to be a pretty much fresh experience, which is my favorite way to play these games. And then that's going to leave us directly going into Diablo 4 Season 2. So I have sort of the pilgrimage of going back home and trying these old games, fill the gaps of Path of Exile right into the Diablo 4 Season 2. And man, I really hope that we see with these developer update live streams that are coming out here shortly. I'm really hoping to see some, you know, some big dick content is the way I would say it. But that's about it for me.
Okay, let's not be sexist here for no reason, okay? Loose vagina content. Gotcha.
To wrap it up, we got a live stream on the 4th, live stream on the 10th. I will be live right now. Blizzard is laying off people, but it's for the Hearthstone team, hiring new people for the Diablo team. Hopefully we're all in our copium bag and Season 2 will be great. That's about...
True. It's true. You need that copium. Anyway, that was our boy Skills, also known as Dark Microtransactions, or, you know, the DM Diablo 4. It is what it is. Anyway, this was Quizzer Sensei. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. And have a nice day. Bye-bye.